Two men arraigned in a magistrate's court today in connection with that $3.2 million drug bust in East End, Grand Bahama. We'll tell you all about it first at 6.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it's so great to have you with us. Topping news, the countdown is on to the local government election. That poll is set for June 23rd. But today, those looking to have their names placed on the ballot were required to file nomination papers here on Grand Bahama and throughout the Family Islands. Tonight, Sabrina Brown kicks off our local coverage with the process in the Freeport area.
One by one, the candidates looking to secure a spot on the local government Freeport City Council arrived at the administrator's office to submit their nomination papers. Making up the cadre of hopefuls for the Freeport district were several incumbent candidates as well as newcomers. Returning officer for East Grand Bahama, Mary Cooper, says the process went well.
When they came in, they had to produce their nomination form with 5 names and 5 persons who were nominating them, and those persons had to be found in our register for East Grand Bahama. They had to have their legal declaration signed by a justice of the peace and then pay a fee of $50.
Once they made it official, the local government hopefuls were excited to have completed the brief process. Returning officer for Pine Ridge, Dr. Cecil Thompson, was impressed with today's nomination process.
What particularly drew my attention was that the candidates I was telling the administrator in coming to nominate, they brought mothers and grandmothers. And we made sure that the Freeport News captured those, and ZNS captured those photographs because it's so meaningful. Unlike a general elections, you don't have that big crowd, but you have people who would know better than the sacrifice of serving in local government than mothers and grandmothers and wives.
Supporters of the various candidates believe it is vital that Bahamians take part in the upcoming local government elections.
These are our local sons and daughters. They are not going to the House of Assembly in Nassau. They will be resident right here in Grand Bahama, where you can touch and feel them, when they can listen to your concerns, and they will be able to demonstrate and act on your behalf.
So come out and support them, and don't be political about it, because they ain't going to Parliament. Forget the yellow, the red, and the green. It ain't about that. It's about self and your community. That's what it's all about.
Being there to get the young people out, especially to support the local government, because I'm a youth officer for Pine Ridge.
Now that the nomination process is over, local government candidates say they will now step up their campaign efforts. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Well, there are some 4 townships in the West Grand Bahama District: Pinders Point West and 8 Mile Rock East and 8 Mile Rock West. Today, a good mix of veterans and newcomers turned out to nominate at the administrator's office in 8 Mile Rock. Megan Shepard has that story.
There are 4 townships in the West Grand Bahama District with a total of 36 seats for local government. On Tuesday morning, both veterans and first-time candidates came to the administrator's complex to offer themselves for the June 23rd elections. Among those veterans offering themselves for re-election, Kevin Morris in 8 Mile Rock West, Jeff Albury in West Grand Bahama, and outgoing Chief Counselor for West Grand Bahama, Rosny Cooper.
My interest in returning is that I have some work that I would like to see completed that we were unable to be completed based on the budget cuts. Therefore, this term in office, I would like to put a better administration team together to manage district in a different way than it has been doing in the past.
I would like to see some changes with being able to partnership with other areas and stuff and getting some things done in West End. And again, working with my senior citizens in West End, hoping that we can get social service and things like that to assist them, health care and stuff like that. I am also a diabetic, so I'd like for the Diabetic Association to really kick in.
One of the things we are feeling as a youth and a youth in the community center, and that's one of the things I want. That's one of the things I want to do in local government. Find creative ways in which we could get our young people off the street, get them engaged in positive activities, and even wholesome activities for our singers.
While not a complete newcomer, Keithora Munro has served in local government in the Berry Islands for one term and is now offering her service to West Grand Bahama.
I decided to run because I still have that passion for the young persons, and I just want to highlight that knowledge is power and to emphasize education, because if you look around, you see a lot of the young people not utilizing the potential that they really have.
Sandy Thompson and Jerron Harvey say while this is their first year offering for a local government, they are confident in what they bring to the table.
For the past years, I have not seen hardly anything being done to upgrade the area of Hannah Hill, which is my community. The park, I have an 11-year-old son. He constantly asks me about the basketball court, where the rims are down and it's not in the state where our children can go out and play. Also about indiscriminate dumping, people taking vehicles that they're not using anymore, just taking them through the bushes and leaving them.
I decided to offer myself as a candidate ever since coming back from university. I've always been a person that loves to give back to my community. And it's evident in the profession that I chose as a social worker that helps to move people from a state of welfare to a state of well-being. And so I'm offering myself as a candidate to move my community, to take my community to another level and try to get them to think entrepreneurship and to pretty much illuminate the rich history that Sucre has to tell.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Now in the East, local government has been a viable process of change. Because of its positive impact, many residents continue to express high interest in the process. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
From all indication, the spirit of local government in East Grand Bahama appeared to be alive and well, as candidates wasted no time as they began queuing up early to begin the nomination process. A line began forming shortly before 10 a.m. as candidates from Freetown and as far as Sweetings Key began converging. With the official register in place, nomination officials say they were prepared.
It went pretty good. And, people in East Grand Bahama love to deal with elections. So far we have 6 polling stations in East Grand Bahama. 3 is already decided, being uncontested, and we will have elections in Sweetings Key, High Rock, and McLeanstown.
Now, how was turnout today?
In numbers, we have 20 nominated, and we started at 9, and we had the last one came in at 2 minutes to 12. So therefore, we would have to have an election in High Rock.
However, while candidates began nominating early, the process encountered a hitch. The mandatory $50 nomination fee was not enough. 5 signatures were also required. Assistant Island Administrator Sherrick Ellis.
You have to have 5 registered voters within your constituency, within the district that you are running in. And you have to be registered within that area in order to run, and the persons nominating you would have to be in that area. But we had a little snag with some persons came in with few signatures, but not the amount of signatures required. But before 12, they came back and they was qualified for nomination.
Those candidates facing challenges say before anxiety actually set in, the problems they experienced were rectified.
I had to go on and get some more names because we used the first register, and the first register wasn't good, so we had to use the up-to-date register, you know what I mean? But it's all good now.
I had one person that signed that was not on the register, but I found a way to get around that. Got someone else to sign.
And once you did that?
I was confirmed.
Now that the nomination process is completed, it's on to Election Day come June 23rd. And the question now is, who will emerge victorious? In East Grand Bahama, reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis-Roll.
Switching gears now, 2 suspects arraigned before Magistrate Andrew Forbes in New Providence today on charges of conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs with the intent to supply, conspiracy to cultivate dangerous drugs, and possession of firearm and ammunition. Now, Jamaican national 49-year-old Errol Wallace of Westmoreland, Jamaica, pled guilty to all charges. He was sentenced to 6 years at Her Majesty's Prison in New Providence. His co-accused 38-year-old Darren Earl Anderson of Brink Hill Road, Lincoln Green, pled not guilty to the charges, but he was remanded to prison in New Providence, and the matter was adjourned to July 30th for trial. The men were arrested on Saturday after police discovered 32 marijuana plants in a field in East Grand Bahama. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A veteran tour operator expressing optimism about the future of Grand Bahama. Tonight, Sabrina Brown has his story.
Veteran tour operator Almondo Talbot says he's optimistic that Grand Bahama's economy is on the verge of a turnaround, but he believes the revival of the world-famous International Bazaar could play a major factor in the way forward for the island.
The International Bazaar is one of the most well-known places throughout the world. No longer than yesterday, the people came off the cruise ship and they wanted to go to the International Bazaar because many years back, that's where they came. And they were so excited to come to just see the bazaar and what it is. I think what we really need is to sit down around the table, get some people to open up the International Bazaar, Port Lucaya Yacht Club, all these places that are closed down where we can provide opportunities for our people.
He says he's grateful to the major cruise liners that have been the lifeblood of the local tourism sector for some time. Going forward, he believes good customer service will be a key component in sustaining the tourist business.
If you can give that, you always will have return visitors coming back, looking for you, coming back to the island. I think we need to do a little more on that. We need to know how to present ourselves, our body language that need to be corrected. The way we speak to people, the way we present ourselves.
Talbot notes that we are now in a highly technological age, and he's encouraging taxi and tour operators to keep pace with the changing times. He's also appealing to the powers that be to be mindful of this.
Technology has changed the way we travel. We still want to do things the old way that cannot work in this day and time. There's only one thing that causing all this argument and going on in the transportation business is the 24 hours. And as a taxi driver, as a tour operator, we all know what that means. We want to hold on to that 24 hours. So a bus cannot go down there and pick up anybody. But because of technology now, the government needs to take a look at that 24 hours and put that aside, because everybody can get in a chat room on a cruise ship and they can just email you and say, look here, I'm coming to Freeport, me and my family, we have 20 people in family, I need for you to pick me up. But because it's not 24 hours, you can't go and pick them up.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the West End Urban Center testing the knowledge of students at the West End School. The general knowledge competition held at the Mary Magdalene Church Hall attracted students at the upper and lower primary level. Now, students went head-to-head in the competition that included Bahamian history, but before the contest would get underway, students received the charge from Deputy Director of Urban Renewal 2.0, Michelle Rackley. She commended the students for accepting the challenge.
Competition is always good. Sometimes we sit and we watch competitions from the television. There are children who hit it for the first time. So when they go up, sometimes they know the answer, but they're there shaking and trembling because first time standing before a crowd, first time having an audience. And Ms. Wilchcombe, I applaud you. You are preparing the children of West End for what they need for the future. And who knows, this can lead to bigger, better, and brighter things. And you know, knowledge is the key to success. It is a true saying. They say without vision the people perish, but trust me, you have to have knowledge.
Now, Reckley says urban renewal is all about building strong communities and transforming lives. And the competition, she notes, is one way to prepare the students for the future.
All of you are winners in your own right. And everybody cannot be first, everybody cannot be second. But just the fact of you coming out today, it makes you a winner. It makes you stand out from among the rest because you're doing what some will not do. So I want to congratulate the participants and to know that we are always here for you. Urban renewal is your shoulder to lean on, and whatever we can do to enhance your knowledge, to widen your understanding, that is what the center is for.
Now, when all was said and done in the lower primary level, Ramika Russell took third place, Jaden Russell second, and Lene Wildgoose first. In the higher primary level, Adriel Ferguson was first, Jada Russell second, and Cartier Cooper third. Father's Day may be a few days away, but sixth graders of the Maurice Moore Primary School are getting an early start to the annual observance. The students organized a Daddy's Day celebration, complete with tributes, music, and dance, topped with refreshments. It was a time for students to share a special moment with fathers and the male role models in their lives. Deacon Jeff Hollingsworth was invited to address the event.
All factors of our society needs to get involved in helping our young men to build their self-esteem, to build their confidence, and to develop that God-given talent that is deep inside of them as one of the most talented nations in the world, the Bahamas is. But how do we do this when they don't have fathers in the homes to guide them through that process, where they're struggling to move from childhood to manhood? What is that rite of passage? All of us must step out of our ordinary father's hood in our homes and step into a more widened scope of fatherhood to be father figures to these young men.
Deacon Hollingsworth telling the students and fathers in attendance that he understands the challenges students encounter growing up without a father. He urged other male figures to stand in the gap.
I'm a prime example of that, where my dad died very early in my life. But thank God for the father figures in my life that I was able to live and attain success in so many areas of my life. So this is my message today for the fathers, to reach out beyond your doors to those young men who need us, and to the young men, respect, listen, and be obedient to those father figures in your lives, because they are the ones who are going to make significant difference in whether you be successful or whether you fail in this life.
Stay with us. Ricardo Liborn has a check on sports when we return.
Hey everybody, welcome to Sports and Ricardo Live. Tonight this one goes out to William Bill Butler down there in New Providence celebrating a birthday. Yep, Uncle Bill still trying to use Rogaine to grow hair. Ain't gonna happen, bro. The Grand Bahama Sports Complex was a hot spot on the weekend. The occasion, track and field. Grand Bahama responded very positively. The Grand Bahama Power Company Eagles track and field meet was a competitive and entertaining one at the GB Sports Complex. 200 meters was yet again another crowd pleaser, and the athletes did not disappoint them from start to finish. The meet was also a family event. The Coopers clan, Nassau and Grand Bahama together again. Team Nemo Athletics had a full cheering squad at the Plex. If you're looking for your grandmothers, we found them, folks. They were trackside. Grand Bahama loves track and field, and these ladies agree. President of Golden Eagles, that is Felix Ricky Seymour, said the meet was twofold and mission accomplished.
This meet is to honor Daphne Saunders Neely, who is a local product. And basically she has been a jump standout for many years, and in fact she still has a few records hanging around. And we want to do something to show appreciation to our own. Now, and also what we expect to do once we get past our expenses, we expect to do a little something for our head coach, Mr. Dwayne Jennings, who has suffered a stroke, and basically he has also had renal failure. And so what we'd like to do is, be able to support his family in some way or the other, because Dwayne has given his all to this club, and we will do whatever we can to support him in every way, shape, or form.
Swift Athletics came in from New Providence for the meet and held their own. Head coach Andrew Tynes.
We came down to support our Dwayne Jennings. He's been doing some great things for Grand Bahama and the Bahamas at large. And I just saw a former track club last year, so we decided that we're going to start traveling, and so this is one of the meets we chose to come to.
How about the kids gravitated to coming down and running?
Well, they was excited to come here first and foremost, and they're doing quite well.
For the next 3 weekends, the Eagles will coordinate track competitions at the Plex to help our athletes prepare for the upcoming national junior and senior trials. Well, folks, the Eagles track meet was a major one for many track teams. You see, the Moores Island Track Club took full advantage of the meet. So 53 athletes came to town. Moores Island athletes really for the past 2 months has always been the talk of the track and field season. Coach Anthony Williams is excited that the athletes have responded to the challenge and running fast. It's also a mammoth task, and he's embraced it.
Great about the success of the kids and the success of the program, but right now it's getting a bit taxing on me. Because, I have a lot of the boys living with me, and you're trying to groom them and trying to help provide for them who family can't provide for them, and I'm excited about the program, even though it's getting a little burdensome right now.
Well, Coach Williams wished the late godfather of sports, Basil Nemo, was alive to see the success of the Moores Island children, and also the work to produce good Bahamian athletes and citizens is ongoing.
I need government to reach out and do something, because I'm not trying to build an empire by myself. I'm trying to build a nation, and I need government to assist with it. They promised us that the track is going to be started in May of this year, and I think we're like almost to the last day of May, and nothing happened yet. So we're looking forward to see what the minister, Dr. Daniel Johnson, he's going to come down and do it like he say. We're still waiting for it, and the whole community now is sitting down with their hands behind their head, wondering, whether all of this is talks or whether this is reality.
Well, folks, the clock is running for the Caribbean Little League, a regional tournament that will be played here in Grand Bahama. Well, the Bahamas is no stranger to hosting international baseball tournaments, and this year will be like no other. The Bahamas has hosted a number of international baseball tournaments, like in 2011 when Abaca hosted the Caribbean Regional Tournament at the Murphy Down Ballpark. Grand Bahama has also hosted a number of Caribbean regional tournaments, and for the 11 and 12-year-old, marked July 18th to the 27th, it'll be at the GBSA Ballpark. Regional Director of Little League Baseball, Eddie Claude, is excited about hosting the Caribbean Regionals and the possibilities.
Throughout the world, as I've traveled to see the way other countries live and what they offer when it comes to tournaments like this, we have so much to offer. It's unbelievable, and I got a feeling that those 600 to 800 people that we expect to grace the shores of Grand Bahama will definitely enjoy themselves once the community of Freeport comes together.
The cultural benefit of hosting such a tournament is far-reaching, says Eddie. Just like in Aruba, Mexico, Venezuela, Curacao, the Bahamas will showcase their heritage. The same will apply with the regionals.
Jamaica is supposed to be coming, Puerto Rico. We have a following here for those countries. Can you imagine all of those guys coming out and supporting their teams, which I think they will?
Right.
So, when you look at the variety of cultures and stuff that exists in Grand Bahama alone, I feel like we're going to do well.
10 countries have confirmed participation in the regional tournament, and on the line, a trip to Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and a spot in the Little League World Series. And it's great to have those guys coming here. Don't forget that the Bahamas Baseball Federation Nationals also comes here in a week and a half or so. We're going to be rocking in Grand Bahama. Let's look at sports tonight.